Now, Super is another one of those superhero, but the lame man who reads too many comic books decides he's going to become a superhero.
Yeah.
To the kick-ass way, but not quite as Hollywood. It stars Rainn Wilson, Ellen Page, and Kevin Bacon, and Liv Tyler. Directed by James Gunn. And I think this was one of his first big ones. He hasn't really
He's new on the scene. He released a movie a few years ago, a movie I really like called Slither.
That's it. That's right.
Yeah.
He's the Slither guy.
He comes from the Troma school of directing, Troma films. I think he may have written Romeo and Juliet.
Actually,
so it kind of gives you an idea of his sensibilities.
So this movie is about Rainn Wilson. He's just recently married. He's a fry cook, and his wife is a drug addict who has been stolen by Kevin Bacon. So he just stolen. So he kind of goes crazy and decides he needs to stand up against all injustices in the world. So in order to do so, he's watching a Christian faith show, which has the guy from Firefly and the Hammer.
Yeah, Nathan Fillion.
Yeah, Nathan Fillion. It's another superhero, and he's a Jesus warrior, and he just they have the very
and James Gunn plays the devil in those scenes.
Oh yeah, a very black and white. View of reality for the Christian children, and it gets pushed upon Rainn Wilson that he is chosen by God to fight crime, and to do so he has to get a secret identity, which is the Crimson Bolts.
Yeah.
And so along the way he has to do research, so he gets comic books and stuff where he stumbles upon Ellen Page, who is insane. This girl with ADD and just latches onto anything and makes it the most exciting, incredible thing ever. This is one of my favorite Ellen Page characters after Hard Candy. But they team up and fight crime, as basically how the plot goes. Mm-hmm. This movie is dark, which I loved. It is
dark with a capital D.
It is, you've got the side plot of, or the main plot of Rainn Wilson's character as he slowly goes insane, is just getting darker and darker. He goes to this darker place, and he's supposed to be the good guy, and you just can't help it because he just...
Yeah, that line gets blurred.
Yeah, the line starts getting blurred if he's really helping people or not. And the best is, he has to, because he's normal, he's like, I need comic book characters who use weapons and not superpowers.
Yeah.
So he gets a weapon, and it's his pipe wrench. And he just bashes people. It's just like, don't do drugs, and bam! The guy's head bladders open. It's ridiculously violent, which I love.
Thus the Troma influence.
All the violence is just wonderful. And Ellen Page is freakishly sexual in it, which kind of makes me...
there's a psychosexual vibe to the movie.
She's just so intense in it, and it just is awesome. And I'm all about Kevin Bacon's bad guy comeback.
Oh my God, he has the best agent this year.
He does.
He has been in everything. Kevin Bacon is on a comeback like none other.
X-Men and Super
and
I'm sure there's more.
Crazy Stupid Love.
There you go.
Yeah,
he's been
another
in
a lot of things this year.
Yeah, so he's always playing the bad guy right now.
Yeah, so he makes a good douche.
He does. He makes a good douche, and back 5 years ago, he made a good pedophile. So.
So what did you give this?
Oh, I give this one A. Absolutely loved it.
All right. I'm going to give it a B+. I really liked this movie, and I think it's one of those movies that hasn't caught on yet. I think people are still sort of processing how to feel about this movie because it is so subversive and so dark and so violent. And the more I think about it, the more I really like it. I think I actually prefer this to Kick-Ass. Kick-Ass I love, don't get me wrong, but I think this movie kind of owns it more. It really kind of takes it home. It's much grittier. It's much more down to earth. Whereas Kick-Ass, by the last third of the movie, it was kind of flipping the genre on its head, but it was still kind of a comic book movie. Whereas this movie, it really takes that idea of like, what would this really be like? Yeah. And I really like the idea that they kind of take the character, the Frank character played by Rainn Wilson, into sort of these taxi driver, Travis Bickle kind of mindset where this man is insane. He is not thinking in reality at all, and he's actually dangerous. And it really kind of plays with that idea that I really like. I think Ellen Page might have been a little miscast, I feel.
Yeah.
I liked her character, and I think she brought what she can bring to it.
The problem is if it wasn't her, they would have done like Kat Dennings, and the movie would have sucked.
It's true. It's so true. But for this character, I felt like, you know, comic book nerd who like kind of loses reality too. And I think she plays the character as well as she can, but I kind of feel like she's too Ellen Page, if that makes any sense. Like you can't separate her, the actress, from the character. So I kind of felt like, yeah, she's good, but she's acting. Like I would have liked to seen a lesser known actress, I think, kind of fill this space so that I could be inside the character more. But I really liked it, and I think that other than that quibble about Ellen Page, I think that this is a very smart movie, and it's very interesting, and it rides that line between dark comedy and, you know, laugh out loud comedy and ridiculous comedy very, very well, and it's just completely insane. I think James Gunn is another new talent to kind of keep an eye out for. I really liked Slither, and I really like this even more, I think. And, you know, when I came to this movie, I was kind of coming skeptically because we've seen a lot of this sort of, you know, superhero parody stuff with Kick-Ass, even Green Hornet to a certain extent, Special and Defendor. And I think still this is, I would say for my money, this is the most thoughtful and interesting of all of those.
Definitely.
And it's going to, I think, surprise audiences. I think, you know, if you rent this movie and you don't know what you're in for, you might, you know, get taken aback by some of the violence and some of the dark places that they do take these characters. But for that, I actually appreciated it a lot. So.